we go back.
I'm dying.
That's my baby.
We're going at it at 110%.
I just want 5 minutes of happiness, please. Just give me 5 minutes.
And they scored! They did it!
Left,
What the hell was that? Oh, yeah!
What the fuck are you talking about?
All right, fam, what is up? We are back for another episode of the Weekly Roundup. A little bit off our normal start time. I had to get a few things situated for both me and Zach. I'm sitting here with the wrapped up gordita arm over here. Zach had some personal issues. Only a few minutes late, we're gonna get this thing kicked off. We're gonna have some fun tonight. Gonna talk some Eagles. You know, obviously, you know, I had them. I said 10. You know, Eagles look good week one against the Falcons. It's week one. We'll discuss some things there. Obviously, week two we got a big one. Me and Zach said these first four games were big. Seeing how the outlook of this overall season was going to be, off to a good start. We'll see how the rest are going to play out. They got the 49ers this week coming in town. The Phillies are playing the Metropolitans right now. There's a lot of sports going on right now. We got college football going on. You got UFC fight night going on. You got Bellator. I think it's 264s going on tonight. You got a lot of action in the sports world tonight. Definitely make sure you're tuning over here at the Weekly Roundup. And with that being said, this week's episode is brought to you by Expel Realty. And if you're looking to buy or sell a home, you're looking to change your brokerage, contact Alan Foy over at Expel Realty LLC, 302-682-8820, or visit him at Alan Foy at expelrealty.com. How you feeling, brother? What are your thoughts? Obviously, week one's in the books. We had some fun. You know, obviously got to see some things play out there on the field. Want to get your thoughts on the poll question too here. Obviously, what are your thoughts? Jalen Hurts, Nick Sirianni answered most of the doubters week one with their week one performances. Agree, disagree? What are your thoughts, Zach? What are your thoughts, fam, in the chat, both on Facebook, on Twitter, on Periscope, on YouTube? What do you got, people? What are you feeling? How are you feeling, brother?
Should I be the guy? Should I be the one to do it? Should I do it? You know, I'm a little bit irritated. Penn State just scored a touchdown, by the way. They're up 7-3 now on Auburn. But I'm slightly irritated because I was told to bet on Cincinnati in the first half today. That lost me money, right? So I'm irritated at them. I was told to bet. I was told to bet on Florida, on Alabama by one of my other guys. I was told to bet on Florida and take them with the minus 13. And I still took them at minus 5.5. I thought, okay, I'll take them at 5.5. As long as they win by 6, I'm good. I really like that line. And they had to win by 2 and fuck me over. I was told by somebody to bet on another guy I trust to bet on the Ravens on Monday Night Football. I should have listened to Money Moss that just took the Raiders +4 in that game. But no, I listened to too many fucking people, and I took the Ravens in that game. And Lamar Jackson, overrated, overhyped, and overconfident. This is what happens when before the year you tell people, is the league, will the league catch up to you? And you go, I doubt it. I haven't caught up to me yet, and I doubt they ever will. And this is what happens. This is karma. This is the football gods kicking you right in your ass for being an overconfident piece of shit, which is what Lamar Jackson all of a sudden is. Overrated, overconfident, overhyped.
What's up, Brian? What's up, Bryce?
And I'm in a bad mood. So I'll be the one to disappoint all the Eagles fans and disagree to the poll question, Steven.
But Jake's going to agree. He says he's going to continue to show us tomorrow.
See, this is what Jake does. Jake's a weasel. Okay, I love you, Jake, but today is not today. Okay, a lot of things have gone bad in my life over the past few days, and Jake is not going to get away with being a weasel tonight on the Weekly. Sirianni, I actually liked what I saw from Sirianni. I thought it was that is what a well coached, and like when you watch the offense, it flowed, right? The play calling made sense. Everything flowed. Everything. Oh, okay, that play was connected to this play, which was ran because we did this play, and everything. It was like things make sense. We're doing things throughout the course of the game. Things we did in the first quarter would have helped set up things what we were going to do in the third quarter, and all of that. It felt like we didn't see that with Doug for, good Lord, I don't know how long. Really since the Super Bowl year, maybe. Where it's just like those were the things that were getting us annoyed with this Eagles offense the past couple years. I did like what I saw from Sirianni, and he put Hurts in good spots. I liked what I saw from Hurts. Can't complain about Hurts' performance, but here we go with this fan base doing what we do best in trying to crown people.
Yeah. Well, no, see, that's why I want. But that's also why I asked the question. I wanted to see what the people's thoughts were. And Daly, bro, really, you're not liking the. Remember what happened the last time a fan base went to come to take over the statue with the end result.
And the Vikings win as good a football team as us, and the 49ers are a much better football team than us. So let's not look too much into that either. I can't stand some of the shit that we like. This is like me and you talked after the game.
You have to listen. You also guys have to listen to part of it. I said most of the doubters, most of the questions. You did get a lot of questions answers. Yes, there's still quite a few on the table. We still have to see it prolonged. We still have to see it against good teams. Or we're going to sit there and say the Atlanta Falcons is one of the upper echelon teams? Absolutely not. They've been in the same range that we have over the past handful of seasons. So I'm not going to sit there and go ahead, brother.
Steven, dude, good Lord, like as good as we look, that's probably how bad they look, right?
John. John gets it.
Well, yeah, one game isn't exactly. It's a good start, but watch at the end of the year. Like, what if the Falcons have 4 wins at the end of the year? Then this win doesn't really tell you anything. That just means you beat a really bad football team. And right now, that's what the Falcons look like, a really bad football team. They've got terrible offensive line issues. That defense is not good. They just look really, really bad. So, now this is kind of a game where you get to really see, are we a good football team? If you play the Niners tough, okay, maybe you can say, yeah, we're a good football team. But until then, this whole idea that
they put up some points. They put up some points against the Lions. So we put up some points against the Falcons. But listen,
and to be honest,
listen, let's be fair. No, I don't think anyone liked what we've seen out of the defense at any point in time in the first half. They broke too much. Like you said, you liked some things you've seen. You like what you've seen from the offensive line. You had Fletch. Miss a handful of snaps in some of those series, and they were able to kind of get still get some good push, some good production out of some of the guys. And those are things you got to look at. Still, I didn't see our linebackers make a play until almost the second half. I'm going to be hard on them. Love to see the potential of them guys, but didn't like what I seen game one. And you also have to question what's going to go on with the McLeod injury. You lost Epps for the game against the Falcons, and you really thought that could have really hurt us. But the team did rallied around each other, did what they had to do in that aspect. But you got to ask yourself again. Obviously, Roddy's not playing this week. Can they get lightning in a bottle again and sneak away with getting this home opener and starting off 2-0 is kind of that second question. What are you feeling on that initially right now? Obviously, yes, they are a better team, but when everything boils down to them, how they're playing and everything like that, what are you looking like? What do you see from your projective eyes? What do you see coming out of both teams come Sunday?
Well, you want to hope that the team can can stick tough. Hold on one second. I've got somebody knocking on my door. So I'll give you my point and then I'll let you take it. But you want to hope that we can play them tough, even if you lose. It's a field goal game, a touchdown game, something like that. But I think what we've seen from this offense and how good the defense look, we'll hang in there and we'll play the Niners tough and. You let the chips fall where they do.
Yeah, listen, big game. I think you gotta do what you gotta do to get this thing to come together. Good starting point, I guess. Is that they were, regardless of what we didn't like on defense. I'm pretty sure. I think everyone was happy from what they seen on offense. You didn't really settle. There wasn't a whole a whole lot of big self-inflicted wounds that cost them points or could have cost them the game. For the most part, I felt that they were in the driver's seat almost. Once they got that second score on them, it was just that there was nothing going to stop them, and Atlanta just really didn't have an answer to that. Now the real question is what are you going to do when you turn around and can they do that this week against the likes of the San Francisco 49ers? I guess that's the real question. This is the first real test. We'll see what happens when they really get punched in the mouth and face some adversity. How will they respond to that? I guess that's going to be that question. You getting ready to come back here, Zach? Are you still you're still dealing with some personal things on your end, sir? Yeah, he's still on his end. Bryce, the Gators are almost came back. Hey, listen, man, college is fun. I know Zach was kind of upset there a second ago because the Penn State just scored. So you definitely have to pay attention to what's going on. I'm more intrigued with college football. This year, obviously, the fans are back. We'll see how the new conferences wind up playing out over the next this next season, and see if it was a good change with the reshuffling and the reordering of things. Where you at, Mr. Burr?
Okay. So, Jesus. When you live in an apartment complex and something happens to one of your neighbors, everybody in the apartment complex needs to make sure they have all the information straight. It's a big community like that. You know how it is. We all look out for each other. So. Yeah,
I know how you go, bro.
Good Lord. You fuck your Gators, Bryce. Okay, you stupid ass fucking Gators. How the hell? I got Alabama -5.5. -5.5. They were up 21-3 in the first quarter, and they got to fucking hold, literally sweat it out to hold on and win a game by 2 points. Oh my God. They can't stop committing penalties. This is why Nick Saban was going off after the game last week against Mercer or whatever the hell it was, and all week at practice, and was losing his damn mind about things. Lord. Frustrating. Yeah, I've never seen a more frustrating win in my life. Pissing me off. Every time I pick this, I swear to God, all of these people I follow are going to have the worst betting percentages in their life, because all of a sudden I started betting on their picks and I gave them all this bad betting juju. The only time that Money Moss has huge weekends when I don't follow his picks, all of a sudden I followed three of his picks today and lost on all three.
Yeah, actually, there is something I wanted to ask you about. You had the recent passing of Norm Macdonald. Obviously, he's got some play in the sports with some of the comedy he's done over the years. Both both for some big things and on his own. Well, how shocked are you where we heard that we lost a comedic great and basically a huge fan of sports overall.
Norm Macdonald.
No thoughts?
Norm Macdonald. Norm is one of my favorite comedians ever. I'm kind of one of those oddball type characters, right? And that was Norm. I was that type of he's his own person, right? His own type of personality, and it came through in his comedy. Even it's a lot of guys are just you're just your normal hacky whatever comedian. Norm was as original as it could get, and actually my favorite Norm stuff is from watching him on the Howard Stern show. He was always a Howard Stern regular, and obviously when you go on Howard Stern, you can talk about whatever you want, and things can get very R-rated very quickly. And oh man, he had some Bob Uecker stories. I mean, he was just phenomenal. Anytime you got him in any type of late night, environment like that where, he could be uncensored. Oh man. Think about all the late night shows he did with Letterman and things like that, Conan O'Brien. Just that's where Norm was at his best. Nobody even knew he was sick either. It's one of those things.
No, yeah, but that's isn't that the case?
You're what the hell?
Isn't that the case a lot of times too? Like when you lose somebody, like unless they were like it's just painfully obvious or something like that, like and you lose somebody of that nature, it's just crazy. It's like damn, we didn't even notice that.
Yeah. I mean, I guess like I was trying to think like, I guess I haven't seen him in a lot of mainstream stuff over the past 8-9 years since then. You're like, oh yeah, he kind of had like just kind of.
Well, no, I thought like for the most part he did a lot of like Netflix type things and things of that nature. Like he.
I
Like
didn't know if he. I didn't know if he had done any films of any kind like really in that stretch. And I was like, well, like I just thought he was just like hell. I've made enough money. I'm enjoying whatever the hell my life is. But even like people like Artie Lang, who he was like best friends with, like he didn't tell any of his close friends. Like nobody really in his life knew he was battling. Anything of that kind. He kept it that private, but that's kind of like a Norm McDonald thing too, right?
There's
like,
a comment right there that's gonna get Mr. Burr ready and all fired up. He's ready to fire off on people tonight.
I'll tell you what, and I said, I gave up on this team, type of thing. Like if you keep believing it, it's like a smoke and mirrors, like fool's gold type of thing. I don't know why anybody wants to continue to do that, but the way Bryce Harper has been carrying us on his back over the past, few weeks. I mean, it's 2-3 weeks, a month now, whatever. The whole second half.
You dismissed it. You already said it. I mean, like how much can he do it? And he's
we're still right there. You got 15 games left, including tonight, and you're 2.5 games out. I mean, those 3 games coming up with the Braves that are huge. That actually, like, you could go sweep the Braves and all of a sudden find yourself, in the lead in the National League East. And I think there's 3 with the Marlins after the Braves series, which of course just isn't that almost screaming like that's what the year comes down to. Those pesky Marlins who always are a pain in our fucking, pimply ass, and they're that pimple on our ass that we can't get rid of, Steven. That's what the Marlins are.
All right, there's one for you.
So
he's saying he's
annoying,
gonna get.
right?
He's gonna. I guess he's trying to say he's going to get the NL MVP.
He should.
Now,
he should.
It's things that we've debated about on here. Listen, at this point in time, how can you take it away from him?
I don't. Even if they don't make the playoffs, he should get it. I mean, like at this point, Tatis has gone a little cool for the Padres, and the Padres have cooled off a little bit. It's not like the Padres. The Padres could miss the playoffs too. So if you both miss the playoffs. I mean, and then you're looking at you're the only 2 guys in the National League MVP race were those 2. So that means like you've got a National League MVP coming from a non-playoff team. That's the only argument you can make for why Harper shouldn't win it, right? Is what if the Phillies don't make the playoffs? Well, so what? Ryan Howard won it; they didn't make the playoffs. That's not a requirement. That's not something that's like that a lot of times is the case, but it's not a requirement.
It's not, but I think like you can't deny how he's played right now, especially down the stretch. Like his numbers, where he's at, like he's putting together a nice year, and it's one of the things that you were even saying. Like it just sucks, man. That he can't get another guy to stay productive and healthy or healthy.
Dude,
and then the pitching staff. I already know you're going to go off on the pitching staff, so let it go, brother.
Forget about the pitching staff. Let's start with Odubel Herrera. Has a .285 on base percentage in the leadoff spot this year in front of Bryce Harper. I mean, that's what you're dealing with. You've got a guy hitting 3rd in your lineup, putting up MVP numbers. That's got a leadoff man with a .285 on base percentage. I mean, that's historically bad stuff. You're talking about like at the top of your lineup, you're dealing with just like absolute. Like nonsense all year long. McCutchen struggled from the leadoff spot. Herrera struggled from the leadoff spot. Well, we were trying to hit guys like, we were trying to throw anybody that we could in there for periods of time. Segura, I guess, was hot for a little bit, but he's hitting better out of the 2 spot than he does up there, right?
Even Kutch was on fire for a point of time this season, and he's basically.
And then he went ice cold, and you had to move him out of the leadoff spot because he was just ice cold up there. So you've never found any type of consistency. We tried Moniak. We tried the other kid that was playing center field for us for a little bit there. We've tried so many different guys in that leadoff spot, and none of them have worked. And you still got Harper over here finding a way to carry a team on in the second half. When you look at these second half numbers, and a lot of times that's where you win MVPs, right? Right, Steven? Like,
yes, sir. Let's address this one real quick. They're not going to light the Eagles up. I actually think when I look at this game, I actually see them going on the other side of what I did last week. I see them winning a 10-point shootout. I see them putting up numbers, but I also see us scoring. I don't see us. I see kind of similar where you were last week. I think it's going to be like 30, 38. 29, maybe 31. I think
the Niners are a much better team than that. We're not like their offense is going to go up and down the field, and be able to put up points on us, But I think that Lions game last year, people were a little bit deceived by how that game ended. Oh, look, the Lions were right there. The Lions were not in that football game at any point, and that game was not anywhere near as close as the final score says. And sometimes when you're up 41-17,
there was your answer. You're asking how we scored the runs. Gene hit both the home runs.
That's what I said. Gene hit 2 home runs, and I said, I think that told me how we scored the 2.
What's up, Jay?
I saw that earlier before we came on the air, brother. But yeah, I mean, for me, that's the thing. There was like
in the house. What's up, bro?
I'll tell you, as much as the Lions made that exciting at the end, 41-17, and then all of a sudden you take your foot off the gas, your foot off the throat a little bit, and maybe they probably shouldn't have done that, and they learned from it a little bit. Okay, can't do that. We let them back in the game, but I think people kind of took a little bit too much away from, well, look how good the Lions are. The Lions did not play them well, and that game ended up being a little bit closer than it should have and fucked some people over on a backdoor cover, which is kind of funny. But it happened to somebody else and not for me for once, Steven. How about that? Look at that. There are people that bet the Niners and got fucked over on the line at the end because the Lions covered like an 8.5 point line at the end.
This is spot on. Zach agreed to every bit of all this right here.
Well, that's the problem, right? Yeah, they have no farm system, and when you have no farm system, you have to find a way to attract big time free agents or be able to trade for big time names.
I agree.
Like
I agree with you, Bryce. The 49ers are a better team, but hey, listen, anything can happen.
We can win by a field goal. I mean, like I'm not saying we can't win the football game. I just don't see us winning by 10 points. The way I look at it,
listen, I still don't have any faith in that defense. If that defense shows up next week and plays a little bit better than they did against the Niners, we could have a conversation where the Eagles could steal this. This is one of those games that I thought that we were going to lose coming into the season, as it is anyways. I don't think I'm going to kind of switch off of that just off of the one game. Wouldn't be surprised if they wound up pulling it out and wound up winning it, because that's just the type of thing that this team typically does from time to time, right?
So you're saying you're still looking for confidence in the Eagles defense. You still haven't seen enough to be like really confident there.
Well, I mean, and it's not like I'm overconfident about the offense either. I liked what I saw. There's a difference. Like, again, we have to check ourselves. It was the Atlanta Falcons, and it's not like we beat the freaking Tampa Bay Buccaneers or we beat the Kansas City Chiefs. Those are games that we'll have to entertain. At some other time. We even have some Eagles defense holding the 10 points like that. I don't see that. I don't see that.
Yeah, guys. That's where we're getting a little bit like we could win like a 31-28
this is what we're talking about
game, something like that.
This is what we're talking about smelling ourselves, right? This is what we're talking about a lot with our fan base. Guys, you got to stop this. Gotta love what I seen that week 1. Absolutely, what we've seen with Reagor getting in there, getting Quez involved early. We seen the stuff with Gainwell. Everything that the Eagles fan wanted to see and hoping you were seeing. You saw a lot of the pundits that were rough on him kind of back down off of Jalen. His freaking jersey sales were through the roof. It speaks to what he did. But I'm not over. So listen. We're and it's not just because of where our takes were on him. We're not going to go overly high on him. Listen, we have to see the body of work first. We've seen this all before. We've been fooled all before with quarterbacks in the past. In this town, we have to see what happens. Do I like what I see?
Last year too, right?
What up, brother?
He had a great first game last year, right? And then kind of got worse and worse and worse, and he kind of got to a point where you said, you question him coming into this year. But how many penalties did we have? 8 or 9?
Too many.
Too many, right?
Still.
You have that many penalties against the Niners. Do we win that football game, Steven? Can you have 8 penalties against the Niners?
No, I don't know. But if they're shooting themselves in the foot at the same time, that's how we overcame that. It all depends on how they play. That's what they say. Any given Sunday, 3-0. Wow, you got that much in them? Like, listen, we're asking for a 2-2 start over here. Means like we already said if you can get 500 out of the first 4 games, they could definitely be a playoff team. But 3-0, that's asking a lot, man. What do you say? Is that asking a lot?
We play the Cowboys week 3. I mean, you go 3-0, you got a stranglehold probably on the division. I think my thing with that would be is the Cowboys have a tough task this week. I think they go to the Chargers, maybe, if I remember correctly. I can't remember who. I think the Cowboys have a tough game this week, and you're like, there's a good chance they could go 0-2. If we lose to the Niners, we're 1-1. You're kind of in a position where now you're playing. I think on Monday Night Football against Dallas.
That's not what we're saying. Listen, Chad, we're not saying this isn't a good football team. We think that we are a good football team. I just don't think that we're people sitting there saying they're going to have this huge turnaround. Like, we're watching people sitting there saying they're going to win 11, 12 games. Like, what are we watching? What are we talking about here?
We win 11 or 12 games. Nick Sirianni's coach of the year. You know what I'm saying? I mean,
right? Like, but that's not how we think of this with an objective mind. Yes, they do have a favorable schedule. I already said there's a spot they get through this. Good start. The second step is Sunday and beating the 49ers. You get that step that puts you in a big position to just say, hey, we're here. We're gonna make a run this season. See what happens.
Yeah, my concern with people being so overconfident about this game is all of a sudden you're going up against a good football team and you have a little bit of a letdown game. The Niners kind of punch you in the mouth a little bit, and all of a sudden all we hear about all week is like people just losing their mind over something that, again, isn't that big of a deal. Like, if you go against the Niners this week and the Niners beat us, well, the Niners were kind of supposed to beat us, right? Like, the Niners looking at like we're supposed to win this football game. Like, and all of a sudden we're over here. You got all these people in our fan base that are way overhyped about everything with this team, and you get punched in the mouth a little bit this Sunday, and
that kind of goes away.
And all of a sudden,
I gotta agree. I gotta agree with Chad here. Smith it looked amazing. That is literally the debut you want to see. We'll see what happens when he goes up against again the better defenses, the secondaries, the better cornerbacks. Right?
Does he look like does he look a little bit like Chad Ochocinco to you? The footwork, how clean everything is with the feet, the routes, the hands, everything about him. Like, not a big dude, but he just finds everything he does everything so well from a finesse perspective. He finds a way to get open, right? Like, people keep saying Marvin Harrison, but I think he looks more like Chad Johnson, like a Chad Ochocinco type player to me.
I mean, I would see. My thing is, I just hate like throwing when you throw those names out there, because when you put those Hall of Fame monikers on people, like people get upset. But yeah, like you've been hearing it a lot, and it's not just from the guys inside the locker room. It's guys who are tape guys and guys who look at a lot of film. So like, yeah, like I don't mind, when I hear it, but like at the same time, he still has to show the body work to give it the respect to have that comparison as well. So one game, we'll see what it is. Excited for Devontae Smith. Through the roof. You couldn't ask for a better one. And
most excited.
Not just that, now the other thing, me and you particularly last season were absolutely brutal on Jalen Reagor. How did you feel about his bounce back game?
I mean, I've been saying all offseason, right? I try to be patient with these guys. I don't think I was as tough on Reagor as anybody else. I think I was actually much more forgiving with the kid last year than a lot of people were in this fan base. Just because when it comes to young receivers, I got a 2-year rule with as far as them trying to figure things out and what exactly can they be in this league. You ain't figured it out by the end of year 2. Okay, well, I'm not really going to sit here and hold my breath. But
I'm not saying. Listen, Chad. I'm not saying why not. I'm just saying let's let off the gas and let them show us the body work on the field before we start. We did
that with Nelson Aguilar after his rookie year. We're like, this kid stinks. He's so awful. And I know it didn't end the way we wanted it to here with him, but he's still in the league. And again, after he had his rookie year that we bitched about in 2017, our Super Bowl year. He was one of our.
I think
So,
a healthy O-line of Devontae Smith is an understatement. Just healthy all around. The injuries that the Eagles have had to endure since that Super Bowl season is insanity. Not just on the offensive line, just all over the field. You just haven't had any continuity. You haven't been able to put things together. You had to, try to make project things like like Travis Fulgham. I like where you're at. I like Smith, Rager, and Watkins with sprinkling in a little Greg Ward Jr. in there as your third, fourth receiver. Here's another one. Yeah, another one we're hard on. JJ Arcega-Whiteside was the number one. What was it? Was it run blocking wide receiver? And then it just gives these people something to hang on. I know you were gonna have something to say about it. Listen, what are your thoughts on PPF fitting there, throwing that out there? Was it just to incite some of the real Eagles fans that knows the numbers more than just the blocking skulls?
just what I pay my wide receivers to do, block. That's what I'm paying them the big bucks for, to block. That was like my Norm Macdonald tribute, by the way, like trying to be very dry and sarcastic as I said that, and I'm very disappointed that nobody. You were supposed to laugh, even if it wasn't funny.
I had Smith getting the first TD last week. When I was talking on the apps last week, I felt that Devontae was going to be the first one. I thought the question was it going to be him or Julio, or was it going to be Pitts? And Pitts was non-existent last week for the most part. What are your thoughts on that part of it? Then basically being able to take the big guys out of it. I mean, Calvin really tore them up. Let's be honest, right? But
see, Calvin Ridley tears up everybody, but I'm a little bit different than you. This defense, for me, I feel like this defense. I really felt like it was our defense that carried us last week and put us in great positions as an offense. I noticed it, brother. I thought it was our defense last week that put our offense in great positions to go out and score and be successful.
Now,
I think it's going to be our defense that's going to carry us this year if we're going to be a good football team.
Now, what were your thoughts on Miles's performances last week? Were you happy when you see him, when he was on the field in the running game, and when he was on the field and he wasn't, getting the ball in his hand? Well, what are your thoughts?
Why are we talking about Sanders as if he's like a rookie? Like, oh, he's going to be a beast too. Like, he's a third-year player. He's a beast by this point or he's not. Like, that's the running backs don't have that type of shelf life. Like, and that's kind of why, who I was more impressed with was Kenny Gainwell, and I've been preaching all offseason since we drafted him, that he's going to be a big part of this offense. And all of a sudden, you were able to keep Miles Sanders off the field during certain times because Kenny Gainwell was just, having so much success.
Now, Chad, you have to remember why we couldn't run the football enough, because the freaking overturn on the offensive line was so bad. Like, our offensive line, like both running and pass blocking was absolutely horrendous last season. And then where you see the change around what we seen in week one, Jalen was able to make some plays with his feet. Miles had places to run. Everyone was doing their thing. And I got to ask you, brother, what do you think of Mulata's pancake, brother?
Of the what?
Of Mulata's pancake. Him freaking lighting up that, what was it, that cornerback, or was it safety?
Yeah, on the screen pass. Yeah, that was good stuff. Good Lord. Nobody knows how to bunt anymore. Oh, my God. 3-2 pitch. Aaron Nola bunts a ball up in the air and foul.
Chad's bringing up a point. He's loving Stevie Nelson already. What are your thoughts on the Nelson and Slade Jr. pairing so far?
That's part of the reason I'm so excited about the defense. I think when you looked at them last year, you said, "Man, look how good this secondary is, right?"
He got shut down from all over the field, making perspective, but Rodley stole every catch. I think that was just about every one of them was for a first down and was for a big play to keep a drive alive. But
yeah, Ridley was their only weapon, and we did a great job of being in Matt Ryan's face all game long and just really giving him a hard time. And Now, whether or not it's because our defensive line's that good or because Atlanta just has a really bad offensive line, which I think they do. Their offensive line is atrocious. But when was the last time? I mean, Matt Ryan's the quickest quarterback in NFL history to 55,000 career passing yards, right? And, I mean, the dude, like, just they didn't even throw for 200 yards, did he? I think he threw for under 200 yards in the game. And
I mean, that's a big feather in the cap. Like I said, especially because we were down to 2 safeties too.
Yeah,
and
that doesn't
like listen. As much as I was hard on it, like the defense, shut down offense that has weapons. For lack of a better term, they were doing it. That they were running the ball, they were doing their thing, but Eagles were able to clinch down and hold them the field goals in situations where you thought they were going to put it in the end zone. And that, in my opinion, that was the difference of the game. Those first 2 possessions where we put it in the end zone, and I think there was our first 3, and they had 2 field goals. Like I think that was the big difference. And if you're able to do that this week, could also play a factor. If you win the turnover battle, you get a few sacks, et cetera, and you're able to flip fields in some key situations and put points on the board. You wind up instead of getting punched in the mouth, being the one who's punching San Fran in the mouth, and could make that run and be 3-0, 3-1, or 2-2 coming out these first 4, and it could be big for us. Like I said, man, if we were able to do it, that we could. The scheduling's in our favor, but we still have to go out there and do it, right?
Odubel just bat flipped a single to center field. Like, I swear to God, like Odubel just hit a line drive single to center field and bat.
You're never gonna let Odubel live anything down.
Oh my God, it's just so annoying.
Yeah, and which means Segura's up right now, and that's what I think Chad's talking about.
At least that's a good thing.
Could he hit 3 now? There's one for you.
Nice. How about just like him get on base and let Harper pop a salami? Let Bryce hit a salami. That'll help the MVP resume. It's grand. Get out the rye bread and mustard, Grandma. It's grand salami time. You remember Dave Niehaus used to say that for the Mariners?
Well, it's funner. It's funny you ask that, Asmir. Like, do we believe when Zach Ertz says that he wants to retire as an Eagle now? I absolutely believe. I believe a lot of the stuff last season. He got emotional. He wanted his contract too. And I guess kind of seeing with what and how they're dealing with Dallas Goedert, I guess he's kind of saying like, hey, maybe I am the guy that wants to staying here. Yep. Lined out. Well, little weak line out, right? It happens.
Yeah,
but I do believe he does want to retire as a Philadelphia Eagle. He does. He has so many connections here. That are rooted in this city. It's not just him as an Eagle, like his foundations, a lot of the stuff with his wife Julie. He's a lot more Philadelphia than a lot of us admitted prior to last season. Got to give him respect for sticking that out and doing things. Actually, I want to what are your thoughts on Kelsey losing the bet and having to dye his hair blonde? Obviously, he's happy he lost the bet. What are your thoughts on on that one, brother?
Dude, like it's bad. I mean, that's just really bad. Yeah, it's not good. At least when Pat Burrell did it, like Pat Burrell's like jacked, and he's I'm a good looking dude, and he knows that he's just that much of a stud where he could do something like that, and it doesn't, didn't matter. Remember Pat Burrell dyed his hair blonde at one point. Jason Kelsey doing it that'd be like, it would have been like Darren Dalton dyeing his hair blonde or something. You're like, what are you doing? Like,
all right, so William Middlebrook got one here. He's like, what's up, boys? I'll say this: if you go back and look at it at all the way back in college, Hurts can't throw while he's scrambling to his left. When teams start pushing and not allowing him to scramble right, he's done. Well, I guess, like I said, we'll see what happens. Like we'd already kind of said, like, hey, we said pull back on all the anointing. We had people in the chat last week were like, oh, he's Russell Wilson. Like, this is what we're talking about. People are like overvaluing what his ceiling should be and what his expectations should be. And he got shut down at parts of last season. He looked good at parts of last season. So we're going to see, what the film winds up being for what teams do to counter what Jalen and Nick Sirianni did this week. We don't know if he's done yet. I'm not going to say he's done. It's still way too early. We're week 2, man, guys. Let at least get 8 weeks in, and he has more than 12, 16 games under his belt as a starting quarterback, where where it's his team, it's his reign, it's putting things around him. We'll see what happens. I don't think he's done though. Yeah,
it's our good friend Bill Middlebrook.
And then, you want to go back to Mr. Wood? You want to respond to that one before I go to that one? Go.
Because he's going by William now, which is making me laugh. But Bill obviously has followed us for a while and comments on all of our stuff. And
yes,
are you up at your vacation property in New England right now, or are you back in South Jersey at the moment, Bill? I am jealous of your life. Let me tell you something.
Why are we bringing that up? Are we bringing the question, or are you just stroking William off here? What's going on, brother?
Okay. First of all, it's Bill, and it's just friendly conversation with our ATD.
I had to do it. All right. One thing that I definitely wanted to get your thoughts on, obviously, the Sweat contract. He got his bag. What are your thoughts? He gets the $40 million, part of this youth movement. I know you're happy. He's one of these guys you've been big on. The Sweat brothers are definitely one of the underspoken, defensive end brother combinations in the league right now. So Montez and Josh are gonna do their things for Washington and Philly this year. What do you think with Josh getting that bag? He's here another 3-4 more years.
I just want to know what happened to his chronic knee issue. Did this guy have a chronic knee issue? We can't sign him long term. Yeah. What happened to that? All of a sudden that went away. Now it's good. His medical looks good now. What the hell? I don't understand any of this.
If Zach said Kelsey wasn't sexy enough to do that's on him. I don't think it's a matter of being sexy. I just think, hey, listen.
I don't know. Listen. Maybe I don't know how to judge men, Steven. That might be a good thing. But
what happened? What happened?
I said, well, maybe I'm just not good at judging men, and how attractive they are. So maybe that might be a good thing. But I don't know. I don't know. Is Jason Kelsey an attractive man? Is that what women think of him? Is he?
I don't know, man. Them linemen been getting more photo shoots than the some of the skill position
does
places.
Does your old lady find him attractive, Steven? Ask her. Does she find Kelsey attractive?
You don't want to ask that question because that's not the answer. You already know the answer to that question. If you're going to ask her, it's not 62 Kelsey. It's Lane Johnson all day long. She's team Lane, team Sooners.
Yeah,
get out of here, brother. Get out of here.
I could understand the women being like all crazy about Lane Johnson. Yeah, I could see that.
I'll tell you, if we're ever on that side, I'm gonna have to have some bail money for her on the way home because she's gonna get arrested.
Tell you what,
I agree, man. Like Izmir, listen, we got to just sit back and let the Jalen Hurts era happen. However it plays out, it plays out. If it tends to be the right choice, and we wound up getting a first for Carson, getting him out of here, he gets a new look, new lease on life in the AFC with the Colts, and more power to us. And if not, we have some equity there to kind of find a way to address the potential looming of a quarterback situation again if Jalen isn't the guy. But I don't know, man. I got some optimism. I'm always like, let's ride with the guy we got now until he shows me otherwise. I got to ride with the guy we got for right now. That's all.
Yeah, listen, I'm not. You can't complain about what you saw last week. You got to build off of it, right? But I mean. Now he's number 2 in jersey sales. Great. And Tim Tebow was number 1 in the preseason. I go, what the hell does this have to do with anything? Like, I hate this. Number 2 in jersey sales. Great. Shitty players can sell jerseys too. That has nothing to do with whether or not he's, oh my God. Like, because we beat the Falcons? Like, really? Did we get this excited over beating the Falcons? Like,
All right.
oh,
Well, real quick, brother. Let's kind of switch gears real quick here. We got our first and only guest tonight is in the back here. With that being said, the next segment of this program is brought to you by Manscaped. That's to get 20% off shipping with the code A2D Manscaped. Unlock your confidence and always use the right tools and get the job done with Manscaped. And with that being said, we are being joined by Miss Pamela Bam Sorenson. How you doing, Pam?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm hanging in there. You know, I'm just I'm dealing with having basically be one armed for the next 3 months. You know, having some fun here with Zach. Zach and I we're talking some Philly sports here. You know, all kinds of sports going on tonight. You got college football, you got MMA, you got Bellator's going on, you got UFC going on. Lovely time to be a sports fan, right?
Yes.
And how about you? I know you're. I think you've had a lot of changes since the last time me and you spoke, obviously, and so have I. I'm on a new platform, new show. You know, you've moved on from Invicta FC. You're in the Bellator tour now. Last I checked, you're ranked 10 there. What kind of prompted changes like that? We're seeing a lot of it, regardless if we're talking, Invicta to Bellator or UFC to Bellator, or UFC to bare knuckle boxing, whatever. You're seeing a lot of talent kind of go all over. Where we looked at the sport, 6-7 years ago, like somewhere like, oh, it's a monopoly. But when you're really looking at things and how the sport has grown, on lots of level. What was the thing that, I guess, the motivation factor for you? Like, obviously there's places to go, not a whole lot with the featherweight division, because it's one of the harder ones. Obviously, I think outside of Bellator, I think PFL is kind of the best one as far as recruiting some of the bigger girls for those type of weight classes. What was kind of some of your motivating factors to bring the switch from Invicta to Bellator?
Well, I mean, first they have a bigger division. There wasn't a whole lot left for me in Invicta. Most of the girls who were there at featherweight had just a handful of fights. So it doesn't really make sense for me to be fighting people who are 2-1, 3-1. At this point in my career, then, the pay is better. You kind of have to go where the money is.
Yeah, definitely don't blame you there for sure.
Yeah, then, I mean, PFL was an option, but I mean, I'm already a pretty small featherweight. So to go up to lightweight it'd be
rough.
Pretty undersized there.
Yeah. I mean, it's something maybe you think about later on down the road if the money is right and some of those matchups, like as you're getting toward the end of your career, if some of those bigger names are still there and it's an option. Like, hey, listen, I tell everyone, we're not just the I know a lot of things. It's about money and being compensated for everything you guys have put into over the years, regardless if it's what people feel you're worth or what you feel you're worth. You should always take that opportunity.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, what do you feel you should be? Your next one should be. Obviously, I think you're within the last month you fought. I think when I'm looking at it, it says you're ranked 10th there. What is the plan for you for the rest of 2001?
Well, they said we're going to try to get one more fight in this year. So hopefully November, December, we'll get something booked soon. I mean, I was kind of hoping. I know Arlene Blanco was looking for a fight. I was kind of hoping to fight her, but somebody higher ranked comes along for her. I mean, I guess I understand. Other than that, I'll fight anybody. I don't care.
Yeah. Is there any one of these matchups that you're looking into that you have your eye on? Maybe one of the the younger girls that are being hyped up that are coming up through there. You have I think you got what was it? Amanda or Jessica Borga is going to be fighting. I think of the 1st of October against the UK girl that they're pushing real hard. What's her name?
Yeah, Leah McCourt.
Leah McCourt. That's it.
Yeah, I'm terrible. I don't really know a whole lot about either.
Hey, it's all right. Listen, it's one of the ones that I'm kind of looking at. I followed Jessica since she was an amateur, so really looking forward to seeing her get in. I love watching a lot of you females when you get these opportunities, not just for these bigger fights, but main card, main event for some of these things, because you don't see it a whole lot of outside of a handful of fighters that get those billings in. It's important for moving forward to the growth of not just the sport but the women's side of MMA. Like it's something we talk about all the time. It's hard to find girls in your weight class, and it's something that I mean, it's something. Do you hope something maybe Bellator kind of rectifies sometime in the next year or two? Maybe doing a reality series. Trying to bring in where you go and try to find some more featherweights and some of the bigger class girls to kind of find some more stars, some more people to kind of go in there and throw your knuckles in against their face, right?
Yeah, I mean, it sounds nice, but I think that would be kind of like a knockoff of the UFC, and we don't need.
I mean, didn't they kind of already do that already, basically? But like what was it? I forget what the initial thing was, but they've done it multiple times. I'm just not just sitting there. I'm just sitting there saying like not in the tough sense, but like even if you do it like over a period of time and do it in a different form, but just do it where you're finding talent for some of these divisions that haven't been overly developed over the past 5-10 years, where you see like some of the lighter weight class between bantamweight and under, they get that big development. Yeah.
Somebody
He's letting himself be known. He's letting himself be known as always. I seen you got a dog too. Where's your pet? Oh, he's right there, right next to you. There you go.
Yeah, he woke up when he heard the barking.
Soon as he hears mine, he starts to like, hey, what's going on? It's always fun. Now, what are you doing with your downtime? Obviously, you're waiting for the next announcement. I know you're one of these fighters that don't always keep. Hey, don't keep too far out of fighting weight, shape, etc. What do you keep to keep yourself busy on your downtime? Is there any are you like us crazy Philly fans and follow all sports? Like what are some of the things that you get into?
No, I don't watch a whole lot of sports, as awful as that sounds. I don't watch a whole lot of it. I spend most of my days with my dog, helping my teammates get ready for their fights. I spend most of my days in the gym, but other than that, we're out walking and chasing squirrels.
Oh, this one goes after Bubbles like it's nobody's business. Like it's like the best thing in the world.
If it moves and it makes noise, he wants it dead.
That's it. That sounds about right. All right. Now I don't want to keep you too long. I know. We all got things. I know you're getting. It's late on your end too, and I know. Everything's crazy in life. What's some of your potential, big fights that you would potentially look forward to? Like, would you? What are some of your bigger names? Like your bucket list of fights that you would like to have before you get ready to kind of say, I'm done as a fighter. What's one matchup that you feel you have to have personally?
Well, obviously, Cyborg is the goal. It's been my goal for years. I've always wanted to fight her. I mean, I respect her, but I want to fight her.
I think it's since Amanda Nunes has cracked that aura, I think everyone's kind of saying, I want my chance too.
Yeah,
because she's, and it's not just to sit there. It's like you said. It's not like it's a disrespectful thing. It's to sit there. It's like, hey, like I want to say that I shared the cage with somebody who's done so much for the sport and not just the weight class that you reside in, but just women's MMA in general. Like people downplay a lot of things that Chris has done over the years, and she's quietly just done what she's always done, regardless if you've loved her, you've hated her. You cannot have nothing but respect for that woman. I've had the pleasure to meet her a few times. Again, one of the nicest, sweetest, most terrifying person you'll probably ever meet. But I agree with you. It's one of those matchups I definitely would like you to see. And I got to get your thoughts on this one. Have you seen? I know you say you're terrible. You don't keep too much into other sports, but I'm sure you know who Amanda Serrano is. Obviously, she's been involved with this whole Jake Paul thing. What are your thoughts on her leaving Lou DiBella and actually having Jake as a promoter to kind of make that Katie Taylor fight? Is that a risky move for her at this point in time? I know it's a fight she has coveted, a lot and been very vocal for the last few years. But as a fighter, being into this stage, isn't that kind of like it's a big gamble, right?
Yeah, I think so. Especially so if she leaves the promotion she's with now and she gets her one fight, what's next? Are they going to take her back after she left, or I don't know. But I mean, I understand if it's a fight that she really, really wants, and it's kind of like the one fight that she wanted before she retires. I mean, do what you got to do, and if it's to get paid, whatever, get paid. do what you got to do.
Hey, I'm not going to knock anybody for going after that bag. Obviously, us Eagles fans are, some of us are happy for some of the signings we get here and things like that. You in Minnesota, you got any? You support any of your local teams, right? No? Yes?
You've seen our teams?
Your Minnesota teams. Minnesota teams.
She said, "Have you seen them?
Have you seen them?"
Terrible.
Doesn't matter.
I'm with you. I got what you were saying.
Have you not, outside of the last 15 years, for the most part, Philadelphia has been like a dredging of pain for one of our professional sports teams were. Just, I mean, I get it, but why would you turn on them though?
I was never a fan to be. I do like the Wild. I've met a few of their players. Some of them have wandered in and out of the gym, so I like them because I know some of them. But the Twins are on a streak for losing the most playoff games ever.
I don't know. I think there was a point in time where, I think the Phillies had the worst record. I think we were the most losing team in Major League Baseball history for the longest time. So listen, we share our fair share of pain. I definitely feel you there. And the Wild, definitely not a bad team to support either, right? Right, Mr. Burr?
Who the Minnesota Wild?
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like people they're like, oh, like the Wild, Minnesota had the North Stars, right? And then you took them and were moved them to Dallas, and it just crushed anybody that was a native Minneapolis, person. And the Twins haven't been relevant since Kirby Puckett, and you kind of the Vikings, we're going to win the Super Bowl with Denny Green and Randall Cunningham and Chris Carter, and then
almost
they lose to the Falcons, and it just never should have had it.
And then the year we won the Super Bowl, that was the year they were supposed to go on a run and beat us, and then we wound up taking advantage.
And the Timberwolves are so bad that Alex Rodriguez just bought him and is going to move him to Seattle. That's how bad the Timberwolves are.
Yeah, nobody watches them.
They're still a team? Wait, what?
So in all fairness, more people should be paying attention to the combat sports athletes that are coming out of Minnesota instead of the big four major sports athletes.
Yeah, MMA is definitely better than most clowns.
What was it? Mike Richmond just had a big win for bare knuckle. This past weekend with his win over Dakota Cochran, Minnesota native. I know he supports his Vikings as much as he can without wanting to rip his hair out. But Zach, do you have anything you want to say before we let Pam do her thing for the rest of the night? Cuddling with dogs and chasing squirrels and whatnot.
It's nothing I need to add. Good luck to everything. Appreciate you coming on with us and having a good time with us. I don't know why Steven was so adamant about, I don't care that you're not a sports fan. That doesn't bother me, but, apparently Steven
I know. I'm just
drive the point home.
Listen, we get somebody from another town outside of our general area, to kind of get their thoughts on things sometimes, not just outside of her combat sports realm.
I'm a fan if any of our teams were any good. But they're not.
Fair enough.
What's the weather like up there right now? Is it is it nice out?
Yeah, it's been like 70. It stays like upper 60s, lower 70s. So it'll be nice for a couple of weeks, and then it'll either get hot again or we'll start to get really cold and snowy.
How long until it's like just freezing your nips off weather?
Hopefully a couple of months, but chances are maybe a month or so.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, it's gonna be terrible.
Well,
Pam,
Steven,
yes, sir.
You two are the only ones that have to worry about that because down here in Florida, we rarely ever have freezing your nips off weather. So
yeah. As my girl says, they're hard enough to either they fall off or if you even catch it on something, they're gonna break off.
Oh, okay.
But anyways, Pam, before we let you go, what we typically do is the proverbial microphone overview. Anyone you'd like to thank, teammates, shoot out your social media sites, any sponsors you might have, any charities you're working with, and anyone you want to let know how to connect with you or anything that you're getting that you have going on. The time is yours, my friend.
Just gotta thank everybody over at the Cellar Gym, my coaches, my teammates, all my sponsors, my dog. I think that's about it.
The dog's getting more love than the sponsors than that. I love it. Well, Pam, definitely, hopefully you get lined up again here real soon. Hopefully you get that cyborg match before either time catches her and it's not relevant anymore or you're gone. It's definitely a matchup I know that you've been aching for. I think one more win get you there. Like I said, hopefully, snatch up one of them stars that they're pushing and see if you can get their attention that way. I know it's not the easiest thing to do in MMA. Everything's more political now than it ever was. People don't realize that. It sucks in some aspects, but it's also the game that we have to play at this point in time. Other than that, best of skill, be in everything, be safe, and definitely looking forward to having you on here again in the future. Other than that, appreciate the time, and we'll definitely do it again, all right?
All right, thank you, guys.
All right, Pam.
All right, have a good weekend.
You too. Be safe. All right, everyone. That was Pam Bam Sorenson, Bellator Featherweight, currently ranked 10. Like, again, it's a matchup I'm definitely looking forward to see. She's one of these fighters who's well-rounded, good striking, good cardio, good wrestling. It's definitely something you want to keep your eye on. I want to get back to some of these questions right before that were on here right before Pam hopped on. Mr. Ring was in there. Of course, that, we were talking about shutting down the side of the field on Jalen. Of course, that's what we're going to do. More on that again, consistent. That's agreed that they shut her up. Obviously, eating a little bit of crow must have been a little bit of harsh on Jalen and Nick. Appreciate that. Again, I'm with you. Me and Zach are with you. Consistent basis. We have to see consistently, from this team on both sides of the ball.
They're going to go up against an elite pass rush this week too, right?
Yeah.
The 49ers have guys that can get after you. They have a deep defensive line, deep defensive team, a lot of depth, different things like that. They can give you different looks. They can really mix it up and try to confuse you. All things that Atlanta just isn't capable of doing because they just don't have the personnel on that side of the ball to do it. And those are the things where you're looking at great. Jalen. It seemed like Jalen just played a very stress-free game, didn't it? Like. There was, probably his toughest start. But the most impressive though he had was the one that Dallas Goddard.
I like this one. Remember, we're talking about the sexiness of the conversation. The only man men are allowed to call attractive is Ryan Reynolds. Oh no, I mean, I am wearing a Deadpool as my Patronus T-shirt, so I definitely wouldn't disagree with that statement. But I don't think it's the only one. The only one.
There goes. Oh, off the top of the wall. It's in play.
No,
Whoa. Throw him out at third base. Oh, you
No.
shitty arm motherfucker.
No.
Should have let Bryce pick it up.
No.
Bryce would have gunned his ass. Here we go. Here we go with the Nola implosion. This is when it happens, Steven.
Chad was definitely feeling Ertz's. Did you like Ertz's return? You know, despite all the hoopla, you know, he was going to be traded. He wasn't going to be.
Didn't he pop his hammy and sit on the sideline riding the bike for most of the second half?
Now, do you feel like he has to have a big game that he has to be a part this week, or at least make a difference this week?
I think we've got enough weapons. I'm glad that we're trying to mix it up and get everybody involved and find different ways to attack defenses. Zach Ertz could say whatever he wants. I'd say a lot of different things too when I had I'd say whatever gave me Zach Ertz has no leverage, right? I'm going to say whatever I need to say to put myself in the best future position too when I have no leverage. I want to finish my career in Philly. I love it here. Sign me to an extension. Well, yeah, when you have no leverage and you've got one foot out the door, you say things that you got to say to help you. Your future, potential.
But
right?
I also think it's also not just that he lost the leverage, but now he also gives them leverage on the Goddard deal, and if he does that, that could also piggyback into him to what he could get on that final deal.
Right. Whether it's in Philly, whether it's somewhere else, he's trying to help his future earning potential, and he's also a guy that say whatever he wants, but last year he was banged up, didn't really have a strong finish to the year. This year, great, we all love Zach Ertz from a sentimental perspective, but is he really the guy that he was 3 years ago now, 2 years ago? Is he still that
he isn't. He isn't. He isn't.
Up a lot more often.
And also Eagles fans are going to have to wrap their head around this. He ain't no Hall of Famer tight end either at this point in time. If he keeps on this on. Exactly. So, all right. Mr. Middlebrook had another comment here too. He was hoping for a win. Kittles is going to be a problem. We have to see how the linebackers or safeties come down and handle that. I still think that you're still going to see a rotational thing with Jimmy G and Fields. What do you think?
With what there?
With Jimmy G and the kid they drafted this year,
Trey Lance. They'll probably try to find ways to mix it in. I mean, if Jimmy G plays well, they're just going to roll with him, right? But
obviously,
if he struggles at all or he gets banged up or hurt, you can go with Trey Lance. I don't know. It's going to be what's going to be tough about their offense is they've got Kittle obviously is a stud, and it's always tough to cover stud tight ends because there are always mismatch issues. But in a situation where you can be we'll just take Darius Slay and put him on like last week, you could almost go, okay, Darius Slay, you're going to follow Calvin Ridley around the field, and we're good here, right? You can't do that with this situation with Kittle because then they've got, on the outside, they've got a guy, and all of a sudden his name's, escaping my mind, but the kid from South Carolina that's a really good receiver for them that had the big game last week, had the fumble towards the end. We're kind of hoping Rager becomes him. Right, but they also have Brandon Ayuk, from Arizona State last year that they drafted. You can't just take your best defensive back and throw it on.
You agree with this one? We were talking about Carson and the Colts. You think that offensive line did him any favors last week, or was it just another Carson game?
Carson played pretty well. Yeah, I mean the Seahawks are tough, and that game is what it is. Deebo Samuel's who I was thinking of, by the way. But they've got Deebo Samuel out there and George Kittle, two guys that can really beat you, and they're going to be hard to cover both. So, Carson. I mean, he wasn't their problem last week. Like Carson wasn't the Colts' problem, and I feel like Eagles fans are going to be like, that's always there. They lost, but Carson wasn't the problem. Well, he wasn't. I don't know what the hell you wanted Carson to do in that situation last week. You guys watch that Colts game? Did you watch them against the Seahawks?
I heard a lot of people. I heard a lot of Colts fans look, he's getting the running backs involved. He's not just staring down. I seen a lot of Colts fans happy with Carson Wentz. They were just unhappy with other things in the end result. And speaking of which, Tommy Arnone hopping in here saying he's a confident 2-0 win on Sunday. Are you feeling the win? Are you feeling the win now?
No.
You're not feeling the win.
No, I just to spite Tommy, now it could be a punch in the mouth fucking game. Now we're gonna get smoked. It's gonna be a punch in the mouth sort of game.
Now you do got some 49ers fans in there. Niners all day. Appreciate you, Freddie, for tuning in. But I'm gonna say no. I'm gonna say the Rocky statue thing is also going to want to burning you back on the hand because a lot of times I think the times that has happened, I think it's like 4-1 where
nobody gives a damn about that Rocky statue, Stephen.
No one does,
only
but
you
hey,
old school Philadelphians.
crazy superstitious things happen
Nah.
around this food.
There's
Stop
nothing
playing me.
superstitious
Stop
about
playing
it.
with it.
No.
You know there
Yeah,
is.
you stop playing with yourself. You're
I'm
over
not
there
playing
playing with
myself.
yourself. Okay, stop playing with yourself.
I'm not.
If you keep doing that, you'll go blind. Remember what you
Oh no, I gotta tell you. Listen, I want to break a little. I'm going to be interviewing. Just made his BKFC debut sometime during this week. Houston Alexander. I was going to set up the interview. Was talking about the surgery. Then this freaking joker telling me I need to get my beat off Armstrong. I'm like, dude, come on, stop.
Hey, like that's the way it goes. Now you got to strengthen up the other one.
A fun one. Obviously people aren't too happy with Houston. Those MMA instincts kicked in his bare knuckle debut, and he fouled his opponent down to the ground and threw an extra punch or two, and people weren't too happy with him.
What? There should be it's bare knuckle boxing. There shouldn't be any rules here. Get your ass beat.
Stop. There has to be rules. Stop playing with me.
I wish he would have taken his belt off and beat the guy with it. That's a strike. Let's go, CB Buckner. Ring him up.
All right. Well, there goes Girardi out. So,
well, good because Nola's at 100 pitches now. This is that Nola implosion.
That's about right. So there he goes. Jamal Marshall, Bart Scott Truck Juice always hating on. Listen, I like the actual national pundits, not just the guys who are on ESPN or NFL Network or whatever their affiliate is. They're to kind of rile other fan bases and other platforms up. That's what they're there for. Like Bart Scott, I'm not going to worry about his opinion on the Eagles at this point in time. I was more in tune with some of the actual guys who are the film worms who are sitting there who are loving what they've seen from this team. Listen, again, I'm not like a lot of people that are gonna throw all of it into it just yet. I got to see a little bit more, get some better teams before that. I'm not worried about what Bart Scott or any other of those freaking NFL freaking figureheads that they put on these shows that they claim are analysts these days. I'm like, aren't you on the same boat with that? Do you care what the Bart Scotts or the Skip Baylesses, Max Kellermans of the world have to say about Jalen Hurts or the Philadelphia Eagles? At least after one game. I mean, at least after one game, I don't want to hear it, right?
Oh my God. I didn't think ESPN could become any more annoying, but then they put Tim Tebow on with Stephen A. Smith on Friday mornings. Oh my God. Dude, you want to good Lord, it's so bad. Like, just like you ever been like hungover and everything, like no matter how like not loud it is, sounds like it's just just so like
when you're hungover, everything's loud.
Mind-numbingly loud that it just hits your brain. That's what listening to Stephen A. Smith and Tim Tebow go back and forth about college football was like for me. And I wasn't even drinking. I wasn't even hungover. I just felt like I was hungover. They made me feel like I was hungover.
All right,
and it was
since we're bringing it up, give me outside of them the guys we've already named. Give me your favorite sport, big sports media personality that was a former player, and give me your most hated
player.
Yeah, well, obviously,
media personality that was a former player. I love Shannon Sharp.
He is a bit much sometimes, but is he not
that's his whole thing. That's why he doesn't try to act like he's the smartest guy in the room. He's just Shannon Sharp. He's just and he's always been, even when he played, he was that personality. He was the trash talker. He was the guy that tried to get underneath your skin and trigger you in different ways. And I love that. That's what he does.
That's definitely one of them that's definitely high up there for me, Shannon. I liked him as a player too, just because
Oh yeah, absolutely, loved him as a player.
Another one, I think him and Shannon. That was just another one of those brother duos that were just crazy during them times.
Sharp,
right?
Shannon Sharp, they were good. They were really good.
We were just talking about how about this one? What's your favorite brother combination in sports? Period.
Brother combination in sports. Period.
I mean, we got obviously we got Josh here. You got Montez down there in Washington. Yeah, we have the Watt brothers in pro football too. With
Yeah,
we've
they're hard to
had a
top, but-
bunch of them throughout sports. So who's one of your favorites, man?
You know what? I'm gonna go with the Jones brothers because they play different sports. Chandler Jones, an elite defensive end in football,
Oh
and
man,
then John
did you not hit
Jones,
that one on the freaking head?
whether
dude.
he's snorting cocaine or whether he's not, is a bad man inside
I
the
think
octagon.
what makes
And
people so mad.
I think what's impressive about that is like, it's one thing to have like, oh, we got the Watt brothers, great, and they all play the same sport. The Gronkowski brothers, oh, they all play the same sport. We get it, but how elite of an athlete does your family have to be to have brothers that are pro athletes in different sports, and they're also like elite athletes in those sports? Like it's not like either one of them's a scrub. That's tough.
Let's not forget about the third one. They've all been world champions. Let's not forget about that.
Yeah, the other brother is an NFL player too.
Arthur, yeah. Like I said, that actually I can't even dispute that one, dude. I mean, it's really tough to try to argue that one because I mean, did Chandler Jones not light the NFL on fire last week over this performance?
5 sacks.
And John, man, like, listen, love him, hate him, or indifferent. I think what people get mad about is like, dude, he's done all these things and he still hasn't lost. Like, he has a loss on his record, but it's not a loss. You know what I mean?
Right, yeah, again,
then times he probably should have lost. He should have lost fights. He doesn't. The Chael Sonnen fight where he breaks his toe but winds up stopping Chael before the round ends and winds up beating him anyways. And just like no one has literally knocked him off his pedestal, and he's been there since he was 20, 21, 24 years old, somewhere around that.
23, I think he became world champion at 23.
Yeah. Literally, and stopped the mugging earlier that week. Then winds up going in and putting away, Mauricio Shogun Rua, which is arguably, one of the better, well-rounded the light heavyweight champions of the world, and he's beaten the list of who's who. So I definitely, as much as I would like to try to argue that, you hit that one on the head, Zach. I gotta,
finally.
Gotta tip the cap for you there, brother.
Finally, I nailed one on the head, Steven. Wow.
Well, it's not finally.
Took me long enough.
And speaking of which, what are some of your thoughts on UFC tonight? You got Spann or Smith, man? I'm always gonna be Team Lionheart Smith, but
Money Moss told us to bet on that Bohm kid. I was like, oh, Alec Bohm? Well, it can't be him. What's he giving MMA a try now? Like his baseball career fizzled out? Holy shit.
Oh,
we were told to bet on, I don't know who, Bohm. His last name is Bohm. So, yeah, that guy. I've got that guy.
Just brutalness. Bohm. Is it Bones or Bone or Bohm?
Bomb.
I mean, there's Anthony Smith and Ryan Spann, and then you got Devin Clark, Ike Capitella, Annie Lipskick, Mandy Brown. I'm looking for your guy for who he's telling me to look for. Jacqueline Buckley got the stoppage win tonight, so that's another fun one.
BOHM, something like that.
He's going the preliminary card. That's maybe where it was. Mike Rodriguez decision. Raquel Pennington. I do not. There's JP Buys. But he lost the decision. Aaron Blanchard, Sweet Sarah. I don't see Bone Bomb or anything of that nature, brother. What are you talking about?
I don't know. That's what it said on the Money Moss.
Are you sure he was talking UFC or Bellator? Because, like I said, there's multiple fights going on tonight, brother.
I don't know. I don't know which one. I know it was just a combat. I know it was an MMA of some kind. I don't know which one it was. He just put the little combat sports logo thingy next to it, so we know that it's that. Like if it's a baseball bat, he puts a baseball. If it's a football bat, he puts a football. Like literally, like even like retards can bet on it. You're just like, oh, that's a football game. I know because there's a football next to it. So retarded people like me foolproof.
Nah,
Although
I'm actually
somehow I've been fooled by it because I have not been winning the same amount of money that he has. Been.
Yeah, but actually, Bellator's fight tonight is Yoel Romero and Penn State wrestling product, Mr. Mr. Wonderful Davis. So that's probably another fun one there.
Oh, okay.
But let's see. See if your boom guy is on there.
I didn't put money on him anyway at this point. Steve.
Oh man, Ted. Just so you know, Zach doesn't care. He thinks it's irrelevant.
No, like, yeah, and that has nothing to do with the Minnesota game. I know, like, oh look, see whatever when Minnesota did that. Like Minnesota, like they had Case Keenum as quarterback. That's why they didn't go to the Super Bowl. When Case Keenum's your quarterback, you're not going to go to the Super Bowl. I don't know what Vikings fans thought was going to happen that year, but yeah, I understand we had Nick Foles as our quarterback, but like you have Case Keenum as yours. Like Nick Foles is a better player than Case Keenum. That's why you didn't go to the Super Bowl. It had nothing to do with the fact that they stormed the Rocky statue.
Well, all right. So the Bellator one, it's Yoel Romero, Phil Davis. Like I said, I'm team I'm team PSU, team Davis. That one. Neiman Gracie is going against Martin Lemminger. That should be a fun one. Our former guest, Vitamin D, Deanna Bennett, is making her hometown debut. They're in the Shark Center. It is so beyond excited for that. The only thing that sucks is her dad passed away before it was able to make a promise happen. So
wow,
win, lose or draw.
First player the second half.
There's a runner on third.
First player the second half, and Penn State causes a turnover against Auburn. Penn State's already winning 14-10.
Phillies are up 2-1. They got a runner run third with nobody out, so they're about to get that one back.
Good. That's here we go. Nice.
But yeah,
great.
big one for Deanna Bennett tonight. You know,
Brad Miller. Tell me, Brad Miller hasn't been like the most underrated player like on this Phillies team this year.
He has been there for the last few years. Like he's one of those unsung like utility guys that
he's always been a good utility player around the league. But he's got like 20 home runs for us this year or something, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, it's insane. He's played like 4 different positions, like more because we stuck, than anything else. But like he's had to. But you need those types of guys to come off your bench and do that type of stuff and be able.
I agree, Ted. Like, dude, we talk about it all the time. I think. That's why we put so much value up front between the offense and defensive lines. Listen, we win those battles. Here's the thing, if we can get a penalty-free game from our offensive line, we win the game point blank period. I'll go on that far of a limb because then they're not shooting themselves in the foot and then they lose. They just lose to a better team.
I find Jalen had a turnover-free game. We had a turnover-free. I find it hard to believe that we're going to have another turnover-free football game.
Yeah, I think you
just hard to do that.
Keep a hold of the football. If you got, here's the other thing. We were worried about losing the punter last season. What about that kid last week?
He's good. He's really good. That's when you're able to switch the field like that. Yeah, you pin teams deep, and then you have a great defense that helps get you good field position after that, and it makes everything much easier for your offense. But, same thing, 49ers pin us back, and we've got to start inside our 20, a bunch, or you're starting inside your own 10. It's hard to put drives together, right? Those things go both ways. We got to call some turnovers this week because, like I said, I feel like we're probably going to have a couple turnovers. The 49ers are just too good of a defense for me to think that, they're not going to cause a couple turnovers. So, and
I know you're not a big. And I know you hate the whole PFF rating system and everything. What do you think of Sayamao's performance that week one?
They look good for the most part. They had some false start issues and penalties like that. That's what I'm saying. You got to.
But that was early. That was real early in the game. It was once we got past the second quarter. They didn't really beat themselves up too much.
No, it's that's true, but you still, it doesn't matter when the penalties happen. That's too many penalties. You do stuff like that against the Niners, you're going to lose because they're too good of a football team. So I think that's my big thing this week. And, the penalties, clean it up. Oh man, go! I'm with you. I want that, and I'm not even a Mets fan. Oh shit! Where's this pitch on Galvis?
Let's see.
2-2.
I'm gonna watch it now.
Doesn't move the glove. Oh man, you want that every time.
They didn't even show the replay over here. I don't know if they got it on your end. I'm on Fox.
Yeah, I'm watching it.
There you go. There's a run.
You're a little ahead of me. You probably missed it.
Yeah. As soon as you said that, I was looking at it. Was 3. It was a full count.
Yeah. The bottom of your lineup doing stuff like that is huge.
Now, who do you want? Is your guys that have to have big games this week? On your offense, on your defense, in order for the Eagles to get this W. Obviously, me and you kind of feel like it's close. It could be within a score, 3, 7, 10-point game. Who's going to be the difference makers if the Eagles are to win tomorrow afternoon?
It's probably got to be somebody defensively. Right? You're gonna have to find, again, a big defensive, a pick six of some kind, something like that. Your secondary has to play really well. I think Jalen Hurts has to play, exceptionally well.
I think it's kind of a given. Both me and you already said like he needs to no turnovers and just make smart decisions. Just make smart decisions. Keep us in the game.
Yeah.
Don't put us in a position where we're gonna have to limit what we can do as a team and as an offense. I think he's going to do that. I think on defense, like listen, just the linebacker core as a whole needs to make a turnover. They need to make something happen. Like we said, when you got Kittle there, man, that's listen, it's no small task. And you already have playmakers for San Francisco. Like I said, they already put up 40 points against the Detroit Lions last week. It's the Detroit Lions at the end of the day, but it's one thing you listen that there are teams to be reckoned with. We have to see what Jimmy G is going to do. I just say get in that guy's face. Get him up the gut. You use the defensive interior that you got, the rotation that you use. Hopefully, we'll see somebody step up. I just say, like, listen, we need. I'm with you. We need a turnover. I think we need something from our linebackers. That's just my take on it. Offensively, listen, we already know what Jalen has to do. We already know what we're going to get from these guys. I'm just going to sit there to just say, like, listen, if we get and it's not even like I don't even think like we need it's like your skill position. I just think like if we're going back to keeping the penalties to a minimum, keeping Jalen clean. That'll probably be the difference if we win or lose tomorrow night. Is win that turnover battle, keeping Jalen upright and not running around, getting him in situations where he could potentially make bad decisions. I'm not sitting there saying he's incapable of doing it, but like what I've seen so far, still everyone's still crying about this kid can't throw a ball down the field. Listen, he looked good last week. I'm not sitting there saying that he's going to light the world on fire, but he was fun to watch last week. We ain't had fun to watch football in a while. I know it's enough to get excited about, but guys, rein it back in. Let's see what happened with the 49ers this week. Let's see.
The worst throw of the game for him came on the wide open. I mean, if he throws the ball even, doesn't even have to be a perfect throw. Just put some air on it and let Ertz catch it while he's running, and he might still be running. I mean, and that was an incomplete pass that they heard to the line of scrimmage and stole the play on because they got the stamp off.
Oh, boy, did he get a gift.
How do you underthrow somebody that bad? Like, it's just real. That's really that's the type of throw people are like, and they just want to ignore that and be like, look how well he played. Yes, but those are the types of throws. Like NFL quarterbacks make that throw 10 out of 10 times. And that's really, really bad that like somehow he found a way to underthrow that ball that poorly. Now, for the most part, they didn't ask him to make throws down the field that way. Everything was within 10 yards. And, everything was these quick timing plays where it seemed like I was really impressed by how good he was. He was on time with throws when he needed to be, sideline throws. He put the ball, where it needed to be, didn't leave the ball inside where it was, it'd be give a defensive back a chance to make an interception. He'd get the ball outside towards the sideline where only a receiver can get it, those sort of things. And as long as those are the ways, the types of throws you continue to ask him to make on a daily basis and you don't ask him to do too much, and that's the type of system you want to run if you're Sirianni, no reason you can't continue to be successful with that. Part of that last year when you look at it, we complained about Doug trying to make guys do things that they're not, good at doing. And, maybe, you just don't make throw the ball down the field. Don't make them throw these deep routes. Let them kill guys.
I don't think you have to really, with the way you set this offense up, both through the run and through the air. Like he doesn't really have to take big chunks and big shots down the field. With how they set up those first few drives that they were able to put it, what they did, how they were using Quez, how they were using Reagor, how they were using Smith. Listen, this team's going to be fun to watch if they're able to kind of sustain drives and move the chains and things, and not just through the air but on the ground. This team will be a fun team to watch. They'll be able to put up 28, 37, however many. Like, listen, this is going to be a fun team. They're going to score. They're going to be exciting. I still think the bigger question that we were left with. Yes, Jalen has to prove this over a longer period of time. Yes, we have to see what these wide receivers do once these guys get film of them. Defense just needs to tighten things up, and we'll see. Like, listen, we're high on the set. We're on the cornerbacks. We're high on the defensive front. We'll see what happens throughout a 17-week football season. All right, brother.
Yeah, that's all you can do at this point. You got to just ride it out and let it be what it is. Hope guys stay healthy. Hope you're able to avoid major injuries. Which seemed like something that we never did. Became another one of my complaints about the old coaching staff is that people are going to sit there, how can you blame the coaching staff for injuries? Well, at some point, if the same types of injuries happen over and over again on a year-in, year-out basis, I've got to start wondering if it has to do with your practice habits, the way that your training staff and your coaching staff is trying to help players prepare throughout the week and different things like that, helping contribute to these sort of things. Because, it's at some point there's got to be a connection.
Now, I know we spent a lot of time on the Eagles this week. I want to, as we got these last, 10, 15 minutes here or so, want to get going on some of the other week 2 matchups. Obviously we talked about Carson Wentz, and obviously didn't start off how they wanted to. Really tough matchup as they got the Rams coming in, right? And they looked really good.
The Rams did look really good, yeah. And you got even more issues again. Like you've got offensive line issues, and Aaron Donald's coming to town. You know what I mean? Like.
And he can't. Can Carson and if memory serves, didn't we play the Rams week 2 last week too?
I don't know. I don't remember.
Aaron Donald's probably salivating over looking at that game film, like, oh, that's all I got to do. Oh man,
it's just really bad. Like they're in a position where they almost have to win this game now. I mean, that's a tough pull. You get the Seahawks and you get the Rams in back-to-back weeks to start the year. Like the football gods fucking hate you. Holy shit.
Yeah, man, that's definitely you're not an Eagles fan, you're an NFL football fan.
Carson Wentz could be one of those guys. I used to say this about Mark Sanchez. Some guys just have, remember the old SpongeBob episode where where they thought SpongeBob was ugly, but it turned out his breath just stunk because he was eating all the time. It was like, catch the ugly sort of thing. I think certain players have like this like black cloud of ugly that just follows them everywhere they go, and Carson might be in that category. Wherever Carson goes, the ugly follows.
Oh man, that's not good for Carson. He doesn't deserve that.
Yeah, well, nobody said he did, but you know what? Hey, like, it's what happens sometimes.
Yeah. Tomorrow night, Chiefs and Ravens. That definitely got your eye for prime time.
Oh yeah, the Chiefs are going to roll. The Ravens. The Ravens are in trouble. They got speaking of the injury bug, they've been bit by it in a lot of areas where they had a lot of good players that were really important for their team, and now all of a sudden they're hurt and banged up in those positions. Lamar Jackson just got exposed on Monday Night Football against the Raiders. Looked really bad for 3/4 in that football game.
Listen, y'all are not holding us to 10 points. I listen. I agree that I think when most people look at it, like y'all are going to score some points. Didn't like what I seen out of my defense either, but y'all are not holding us to 10 points. That's not going to happen. It's probably 21-35. Something. I wouldn't be surprised at that. Like I already said, listen, this. It really depends on how it is played up front. I still think with that Eagles offensive line is still putting everything together. You've seen that with the penalties last week. You might steal this one. You are the better team on paper. You should win this game. We'll see. I still think that they're able to kind of keep it close, and you never know. You might steal one home opener. You get some electricity after what they did week one, going down there winning Atlanta. You never know. You never know. The Niners might have been smelling themselves after beating up on the Lions a little bit. You never know. It's the NFL. That's why they say it's any given Sunday. We're gonna see what happens, Dwight. What's up?
They probably got their ass chewed up in practice. Think about it. Like, you're probably not happy with that performance if you're Kyle Shanahan with the way that you ended that football game. So you get your ass chewed out in practice all week long, light a fire under that ass. They ain't going to come in here smelling nothing. And all of a sudden, we're like, speaking of smelling ourselves, our fan base is sitting here smelling themselves over beating the Falcons. The Falcons. We beat the Falcons, Steven. What, you're over smelling yourself?
Exactly. Are we excited about this? Stop it.
It smells like overconfidence.
Freddie and Dwight, I love you guys, but come on, man. What are we lying about? What are we lying about, Freddie? Stop. Explain this one to me. I mean, if you got something to actually sit there and say,
he called the 49ers the better team. I don't know what you heard. Steven said the 49ers were the better team. He just said he thinks the Eagles could steal one because it's a home opener and there's a lot of other things that go into it. I think you misheard what he said because he called the Niners the better team.
I'm pretty sure that I'm saying that your guys should win this game. Is there a probability? Yeah, it's probably like a 30% probability that the Eagles win this game. Things happen in life. Relax, guys. You guys should be going. This is one of the games that I had them losing coming into the season when we broke this thing down. Right, guys, relax. All right, Freddie, I love you too. He's giving me the finger.
That's a thumbs up, Steven.
Is it? All right.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Steven, you're old and your eyes don't work.
Yeah, that's what it is.
They got you on some good pain meds or something over there?
Well, Freddie, speaking of you going to the game, make sure you head over to the Rave on app, and we're going to be kicking it up with Eagles fans, kicking it up with Niners fans. And we'll talk a lot. I don't know if I'll be going live, but I definitely know the boys is. Maybe I'll hop in, Freddie, so you can throw a few more jabs at me. It's all good. I still think you off on that Dwight. You can have your thoughts. I still think holding us to 10 is a little unrealistic. Do have a good defense. I'm not going to take that from you. There's one for you. How you think the stopping Bosa are going to do?
Oh, Bosa. I mean, so that's the type of stuff you're talking about there. You want to throw elite offensive lines, guys that can, or elite defensive lines, guys that can get after you. That's the Niners, right? I mean, and Joey Bosa, Jordan Mailata, he looks so good,
Listen, that boy is in for a test. A test.
You know what I mean? Gave him an extension. He looked so good against the Falcons, and watch Joey Bosa's going to ragdoll him this weekend, and we're going to be sitting here geez.
Listen, I don't know about ragdoll.
You know what I mean?
I'll just say this: we know Joey's going to get. We know Bosa's going to get his. We know he's going to get his. Whether it's once, whether it's twice, whether it's multiple times, whether it's throughout the entire game, or if he just has that one at the worst time, he going to get his.
He going to get it?
Yeah, I know, brother. Listen, I love this is why we were talking about families in sports, man. We were talking about the Jones brothers earlier, the Watt brothers, the Bosa brothers. Listen, right now the siblings in sports is at a special time. I can't, like I said, Zach was putting it out there earlier with the Jones brothers. I think we have reiterated that, but Nikki and Joey are probably two of the best to get after the quarterback that are in the league right now. No disrespect to TJ and and JJ, but the Bosa brothers are doing their thing, ain't they? From the Bay.
Yeah. Oh, I almost wrecked him watching the NASCAR race.
Phillies are up there.
Watching a lot of different things. Yeah, it's the Bosa brothers. The Watt brother. I mean, TJ Watt is that dude for Pittsburgh. I mean, that dude is a stud. He got robbed out of the Defensive Player of the Year award last year too. They gave it to Aaron Donald. Bunch of nonsense.
You think he's gonna revenge tour this year? Gets it done?
Oh yeah, I mean, I think last year, it was just like a coming out party. Like he wasn't even like he was just getting to a point.
Last year he ascended and kind of put his brother in the back shadow. Like, listen,
he was just figuring out how good he could be,
enough, brother. You've had the crown long enough. It's my turn now.
Yeah, he might have like one of these all type like elite defensive years, in one of these upcoming seasons, this year, next year, whenever it might be. Like one of those years where you just look at it and go, my God, look at that stat line. And JJ had one of those years when JJ won Defensive Player of the Year. Just ridiculous stuff. Was catching touchdown passes as a tight end that same year. Remember that shit?
Oh man, yeah. And speaking of which, the Steelers got the Raiders this week.
They should take care of business. You would have to think, with the fact that the Raiders are coming on a short week, coming off a big emotional win on Monday Night Football. Good chance for the Steelers to bounce back. They don't want to go to 0-2, so. It doesn't seem like the Raiders, are the Raiders really going to go 2-0? Is John Gruden really going to go 2-0 and beat the Ravens and the Steelers in back-to-back weeks? That's not what John Gruden does. John Gruden goes 9-7, 8-8 every year, right? Like that's.
We'll see, man. Different season. It's new beginnings. Yeah, I think it's the second or third year there.
Fourth year.
Where did that go? Oh. Bryce is up, 2 on, full count. They popped him up, or did he get it? Nope. Stays alive. He gets them another run here. The Phillies could put this one away. It's 3-1, top of the 7th.
Yes. You're ahead of me, remember? So it's like if he does something legit, you're going to be all like, going crazy, and I won't even be able to see it yet.
Oh no. We'll see. You're getting another crack at it now. We got another minute or two. We only got another minute or two before we head off of here. Anything you wanna add before we wrap it up? Put a bow on this one and call this an episode. There's some more runs. Is it 1 or 2? And they get 2. Brycey with a two-run double. They're up 5-1 now.
That's what your MVP does, right there. That's the MVP stuff right there.
It's clutch, man. That's
MVP type stuff right there.
You pretty much give you a little room to have a bad inning at a 1 year reliever.
Exactly. You needed those 2 insurance runs because the bullpen stinks. He's been on base 3 times tonight.
Listen, it's going to be really hard to sit there and say that this guy shouldn't be the MVP at this point in time, regardless if this team makes the playoffs. I think it's if you're a Phillies fan, you should be more upset about that than what we already know with this team needs a lot of major overhauling in a lot of different places.
I'll be legitimately pissed if Bryce doesn't win MVP. Like I really will. Like it's one of the all-time Sam jobs if he doesn't win the award at this point. You look at his second half numbers. Forget about what guys do Like in the first half, sometimes, you always like that always gets made out. Like Tatis had a big first half. Yeah, great. Then he gets cold in the second half, and that's how you lose the award and not win it is by having a cold, just get going cold at the wrong times, right? Bryce has got, if you saw his OPS plus since the All-Star break is just at an absurd level. I think it was it's like a 1.3 or 1.5 or something. And his OPS plus is plus 265, which average like you're talking about like anything that's plus 150 is super legit.
We were talking about the statue, right? It's the statue had to check in. He's like, I just spent 3 hours staring down Niners fans. Did it blink once? Hey, listen.
Go.
Love it.
Muto.
Yeah. All right. Well,
but
listen. Some insurance runs. So your Phillies should win tonight. Make sure you guys are tuning in for all our programming. We'll be back next week. Like I said, bum arm or not, dude, I'm still here. We're still getting things rocking. We'll have some more fun stuff lined up for you guys next week. Zach, anything else before we put a bow on this one and say goodbye to the fam tonight?
Go Birds tomorrow.
Yeah, go Birds. We'll see how that one plays off. Rocky was staring down Niner fans for the last 3 hours. Well, we were staring down two hard ones for the last 40 minutes or so. But wrapping this one up again, make sure you guys are checking out our show sponsor. So if you're looking to buy or sell a home, looking for a change of career brokerage, contact Alan Foy of Expel Realty LLC at 302-682-8820 or visit him at alanfoy at expelrealty.com. This was another episode for the Weekly Roundup. We'll be back next week. I'm Steve. He's Zach. We will catch you guys around.